So I've been spending a lot more time really sitting with myself, really analyzing and observing how I respond and react to each situation in my life, whether that's with my friends, whether that's with strangers, whether that's with a boss, whether that's with my romantic partner. And as I observe these things, I realize in certain situations, all of my demons come flooding out at once, and I am faced with the truest version of myself. And that version of myself is something that I really want to work on. If any of you guys can relate, we all have some sort of insecurity in some way, shape, or form, whether that is validation, whether that is caring what other people think about us, whether that is not feeling loved enough, not being able to receive love, whether that is not being confident in who you are as a person. If you don't have a good idea on the definition of self-esteem is basically your self-concept. It's how you see yourself. And I've been doing a lot of reading, and one thing that I learned is that a man cannot rise above how he sees himself. So if you see yourself here, you are not going to be able to rise above this point. Until you raise your self-esteem and self-concept, a man can never rise above this point. So that tells me that I should constantly be working on my self-esteem. I should constantly be working on my self-concept, how I see myself. Because until I see myself in a greater light, I will not become a greater man. So I've been doing a lot of inner work on myself, and here are some tips that I've came up with myself. I don't want to give you guys the impression that this is going to work instantly, but for me, this seemed to work almost instantly. So first things first, go out, get you a pen, get you a pencil, and get you a notebook. It doesn't matter what kind, just get you something that you can write in. And the first tip that I have for you guys is to open up your notebook and title this page, "What are some special things about me?" Now, one problem that I have is I'm constantly looking at my flaws. I'm constantly looking at what I'm not doing. I'm constantly looking at my failures rather than actually taking a step back and observing my successes, observing the pros about who I am, observing the positives in my life. I am constantly in my head about what I'm doing wrong, and I'm never in my head about what I'm doing right. And if you guys also have this same exact pattern, then you understand that this keeps you in a constant loop of negative thoughts, negative self-talk. So some things that I wrote about myself are, I can do cool flips. I can be honest with myself even when it's hard. I choose to be open and vulnerable to strengthen my relationships. I am very in touch with my emotions. I am a great dancer. I am open-minded and willing to learn. I have a way with words. And I wrote a bunch more, but really sitting back and looking at yourself and focusing your energy on the positives about yourself. This is very, very powerful. And it's crazy because I set an intention to build my self-esteem, and I kind of came up with this idea on the spot. I just took out a pen and started writing. And when you really give yourself that time and space to focus on the positives within yourself, you'll be surprised on how long the list actually is. And when you go back and read it over and over and over, and you realize that, wow, I actually am someone of value. I actually am special. There is actually more to me than I believe. Another thing that I decided to start doing was at the end of every single day, taking out my notebook, taking out a pen and a piece of paper, and titling this page, "Daily Wins for Today," and then putting the date. Now, the problem is that a lot of people, when they get ready to go to bed, when it's the end of their day, they are constantly thinking about the things that went wrong in that day. They're constantly thinking of the negatives that happened during that day. Even if you woke up early and you meditated, even if you woke up early, went to the gym, even if you finished a project that you've been procrastinating on for a while, it is the smallest thing that'll take your focus and cause you to completely neglect all the positives, all the wins that you had that day, and focus all of your time, energy, and attention on the negatives. And looking back and saying, okay, I woke up this morning and I went to the gym. It was difficult, but I did it. I ate healthy today. I incorporated more fruits into my diet today. I spent some time with myself today. I meditated. I journaled. I took time for me. A daily win can even be something as simple as I spoke to someone today. I complimented someone today. I helped the homeless today. It can be something very small, but before you go to sleep, be sure to document your daily wins, because when you are focusing most of your energy on the positives of who you are, this is naturally going to raise your self-esteem, because you are going to go from the mentality of I am a loser to a mentality of I can do this, I am a winner. And for me so far, these tips actually help me boost my self-esteem in the moment. Because don't get me wrong, I don't have a terrible self-esteem, but in certain areas of my life that bring out these insecurities, being able to know that you are valuable, being able to know that you are special, being able to know that you are important can be the difference between a healthy mental diet and an unhealthy one. Another tip that I have for you guys is actually something that most of you guys already know. It's gratitude. A lot of us are just walking through life wanting, desiring, feeling like we lack, rather than seeing the things that we have. So taking out a notebook and expressing gratitude, even if it's the most minuscule things. If it's your car, I am grateful for my vehicle. I am grateful that I have the ability to get from point A to point B. I am grateful that I have a vehicle to where I can make it to my girlfriend's house and show her how much I love her. I am grateful for my job, even if you don't like your job. I am grateful that I have this job. I am grateful that I am making an income. I am grateful that I can bring forth things into my life. I am grateful that I can pay for things myself. I am grateful that I am able-bodied and I can walk. I can get up and reach my arms out and grab something off of the shelf. I am grateful that I have this camera, that I can shoot this content and I can reach the world with my words. I am grateful that I even have the words to be able to speak, to be able to communicate. Just be grateful for everything that you have. And as you spend time focusing all of your intent on this positivity about yourself, on the things that you have rather than the things that you lack, this is a powerful, powerful technique that I think a lot of people sleep on. I've always overlooked journaling. I've always overlooked gratitude. But ever since I've been putting this into my life, things are changing. Things aren't significantly changing in my reality per se, but my mentality is changing, because you have to remember that life is going to keep going whether you are happy or not. Things are going to keep happening whether you want them to or not. Now that is out of your control, but the one thing that you can control is how you react to the things that are happening. The one thing you can control is how you respond to the things that are happening. The one thing that you can control is the choices and decisions that you choose to make based off of the things that are happening around you. And I can promise you, I can almost guarantee you that the more you focus your energy on these particular tips and tricks for life, you will be okay. You will be happier. You will be calmer, and you will be more open to receive, because this is a hack to find the positive in everything. And when you learn to find the positive in everything, every loss becomes a win. Every failure becomes a success. What is supposed to be painful will become pleasurable. Mwah.